Howdy, name's Matt. Doing a little work on my Camaros here, and figured I want to chronicle what I'm doing, and I'm sure it's been done multiple times, so it's more so just for me, but hey, if I can learn something from you guys along the way, or anyone else, I'm all here for that. So this here, dang phone is zoomed in far too much. I'm hoping to find a GoPro and do this, but this here is my 1998 V6 Camaro. I bought this a month before I turned 16 years old. So I've had this for, I guess I got to do some math. It's going on 14 years now. It was my first car, and it's had a lot of fun with it, but I've always been eager to put the V8 LS1 in, and was able to find a donor car. So this here is a 1999 LS1 Z28 with a T56, except when I bought it, there was a big gaping hole where that T56 should be. The guy who bought it ended up scrapping the T56 out of it because he had a buyer for it. So this was originally a salvage car. It was out of Memphis, Tennessee. I think last time it was 2015. Last time it was inspected. I do have a receipt from 2018. I believe it was on the base. Bunch of Air Force stuff in there, as well as some previous owner information that I did find. But it was in the salvage parts, salvage yard over there. And the guy I bought it from up in Grand Island ended up scrapping selling the T56 out of it, yanking that, and just had the rest of it. So it was the entire car minus the transmission, which is what I wanted, because going from the 98 to a 99 to 02 is a pain. There is some body connector differences and some PCM differences that cause it to be either you have to rewire or you change out the entire dash harness. So, well, what's a guy to do? Might as well do it right. I also wanted the 99 to 02 PCM for its better, I guess, tunability. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but it seems like that's a difference when people ask what year, or can say that the 9902s have more flexibility in being tuned. But I wanted to change everything over anyway, because this is a V6 auto car. Let's get the 4L60E, and while changing everything over, I'm going to do pedal sets. I'm going to have to do all the connectors for the transmission. I'm going to have to do all that. I'm going to have to do fuel rails. I'm going to have to do the plastic gas tank, because I'm yanking all of it. I'm doing the rear end. So yeah, out of this car here, the rear end, the gas tank, the fuel lines, drive shaft, transmission, the LS1 and the K-member cradle, all that, the entire engine harness, the entire dash harness, which is actually not just the dash, but runs all the way back to the taillights, as I learned. All of that is coming out and going into this car, which that means in this car also the rear end, the gas tank, the fuel lines, the transmission, the engine harness, and the interior harness are all gonna have to come out, as well as cutting holes for the clutch pedal assembly down there. And then I have to use the T56 console that was in this car. And then I was able to source, here I got a pile of parts. Was able to source right there is a LT1 T56, but the shiny thing up front is the LS1 bell housing. So I found this local guy was going to use it for one of his projects, didn't realize the amount of work that would go into changing them. So he had the LT1 T56. He bought the LS1 bell housing, as well as a Hawks short throw shifter. I bought all of that off of him. Yeah, the Rockland standard gear swap kit is here, so we got to do that at some point. Also have the LS1 clutch assembly. What else do I have here? I got a new slave. I bought the Racetronics fuel pump upgrade with a 255 fuel pump. Got a tick tick remote, tick master cylinder with the remote bleeder. All that's going in, and well, when I started to take everything up off here, I did take the Y pipe and everything off, and I broke a stud off of the driver's side manifold. And well, might as well just do long tubes, you know, why not? So gonna be throwing log tubes and I guess an exhaust if that's the case, while the engine's out. You know, that's just stuff that's easy to do while the engine's out. So that's going to be done. Fuel pump is another easy one that I'd rather do while the tank's out rather than having to go trapdoor method later on. Plugs, wires, you know, those are going to get done when the engine's out. Other than that, I don't want to go crazy. I would rather get it up and running and have it know that it's running correctly and reliably before I tear into heads cam. So that is the final goal, is to get a solid, I'm hoping 450 horsepower heads cam intake package on that car. It's a good sight. All right, I'll keep you along.